Well, hello, and thank you for joining. I am here with Mike Gostola, who is one of the owners of an amazing platform that I was introduced to by him. And I want to talk today with Mike Gostola about MindTrainer Pro, specifically about how we can see this getting into the teams, employees of corporations, direct sales companies, all different types of organizations, and how it can affect and impact and improve the performance of those folks. So, Mike, thanks for coming. And can you tell a little bit about yourself and how you're going to introduce to Mind Trainer and how you see this helping?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Heidi. Appreciate it. So, my name is Mike Gostola from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I've been a lifelong entrepreneur since I left high school. I've always considered myself to be psychologically unemployable. Always wanted to be building my own thing and creating my own businesses. And through that journey, I was involved in retail. I was involved in construction. I was involved in manufacturing, and I ended up stumbling into the world of online marketing of all things. And through that, I really dove into the personal development space. And about a year ago, I was introduced to a technology known as MindTrainer Pro. And that was a game changer for me when it came to my personal development. I had never heard of the ability to train your brain, if you will, or brain entrainment. Um, and I went into it reluctantly at first, but then found it was an amazingly powerful tool that could be used literally for anybody in any business, in any activity, anybody who is looking to improve or level themselves up. So it was an interesting journey how I jumped into MindTrainer Pro, but yeah, it's exciting.
From what you've shared and from what I've used the system, it's quick and it has a lot of impact. And it's helped you with procrastination, with health, with all kinds of things. Can you talk a little bit about your experience with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as an entrepreneur, as a business builder who has multiple businesses on the go, I found it was very easy for me to get distracted and not be as productive as I needed to. Um, and through that, I ended up doing a lot of personal development, and I hired coaches, and they would help me with meditation, with clarity, doing the Joe Dispenza type meditations. And I found it to be very helpful for me. But I also found that you know it was another one of those things that was challenging for me because I really had to be in that mental space, get myself in the mental space to get the impact of those. And a lot of times I would just be like, okay, I'll just go about my day. So when I started using my Trainer Pro, I found that I didn't have to put all that extra effort into it. I could literally put my earphones on, listen to a session, and have massive improvements and get on with my day. And what that has helped with me most is just that the clarity of, okay, like this is I'm gonna get this done, this done, this done. I always we joke like my son is little squirrel and I'm big squirrel, right? Because we both have very active brains and we're doing a million and one things at once. What I've found with Mind Trainer Pro is it's helped me get more focused, more clarity, and just better decision making. Right? It's you mentioned brain fog at the start of the call. Like a lot of people struggle with that brain fog. It's that lack of clarity. We talk about that in some of our trainings. We show a picture of a foggy road, driving down a foggy road with a curve in it. And it creates uncertainty, right? It creates caution. It creates a lot of times stopping, procrastination, right? Well, when you have that clarity that Mind Trainer Pro offers, because it actually stimulates our brain and creates new neural pathways and creates creative thoughts and clarity, everything just seems to happen much faster and easier for me.
Mm.
Right? I get my work done much faster. And, as entrepreneurs, as business builders, a lot of times we're getting paid for what we're doing, not how long we're working. right? So if we can be more productive in those working hours, then we get to do more of what we set out to do, right? To have that time freedom. So for me, that's been the biggest thing is I get more done in less time. I'm more creative. I'm more confident. I show up with more energy, and such a simple process. I've tried everything else, and nothing matches, 25 minutes just listening to a recording and changing the way your brain is firing.
Get it. I get it. So we do have you to put on a pair of headsets like this or a pair of bone conducting speakers, the headsets, and you sit back, relax, close your eyes, and listen. It's so simple.
It
And
really is.
there's a lot of science behind it. Our scientist who created this has been studying for 40 years, and there's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of brain entrainment. There's a lot of binaural beats. Nothing worked for him. And so he created this system, and now we're getting it out to the world. And one thing you talked about, Mike, was, the procrastination. Initially, when I first started the MindTrainer Pro systems, I put on one. I had piles in my home that I wanted to get to, and for whatever reason, it wasn't happening. And we talk about intention and setting an intention when you listen, and it was like magic. Like this, I was on task and getting stuff done in a
Yep.
short amount of time. So we talk about performance, and we have folks that are in sales, business type roles, very high pressure. How would
Yep.
you see Mind Trainer helping in these type of environments?
I truly believe it will give people the unfair advantage. Creates, it literally rewires the way you think about everything. And if you're in sales, and you have like for me, if I have a sales call coming up, I will listen to our sales uh, triliminal, and it talks about the affirmations in there about being a powerful salesperson, closing sales with ease, right? All these just different affirmations that are layered in with the technology that's stimulating your brain, and we need our scientists to really explain all that, right? But when you layer that in and you're stimulating the right areas of your brain, you can create that clarity and that confidence that you go into your calls like with posture, with belief, and that transfers to the people you're talking to, right? And I believe personally from experience that if you layered this in, you'll increase your closing rate substantially. I don't have numbers yet for myself. I've been tracking it, right? But I know since I've started using MindTrainer Pro, my sales have gone up because I can look at my bank account and I can look at my numbers, right? In all of my businesses, they've all improved.
Wow.
And that's the only thing that I've changed in my business process,
Wow.
right? I've been like most professionals, we've gone through different trainings, like closing trainings, right? Sales training, how to like starting at the top of your funnel, attracting your leads to creating that relationship, creating that connection, closing the sale. Every aspect of that has been impacted by having more confidence, having more clarity, having more energy, and not relying on a stimulant drink that I'm going to crash from in the middle of the day.
Mm.
That was a big part of my day before, was relying on caffeine and coffee and Red Bulls or whatever it is, because I have a million and one things on the go. But then the crash would hit in the middle of the afternoon, and the clarity and the brain fog would set in because, as we know, all those stimulants create that, they work until they don't. We
Mm.
all know that, right? We all hit that wall. And now I find I don't even reach for those in the afternoon. I like my first little caffeine in the morning, don't get me wrong, but now in the afternoon, especially if I'm feeling like sluggish, I'll throw on our 10-minute recording of digital coffee, and like nothing compares
Wow.
to that. And there's no crash, there's no burnout, right? It's brain stimulation. And it's really like it's the unfair advantage that the sales game has been looking for but unaware of for years.
Right, this is even a thing. So you said a couple
Yeah.
of things. One of the things you talked about is the brain fog and the burnout and having so much to do that for me, I get nothing done because I don't even know where to start, right? And it's
Yep.
like overwhelm and like I just so this has helped with calm and clarity, like you said. And also, you talk about posture. Everything's energy. Everything is this world, I believe, is energy. And that when
Yep.
we bring our best self, the best version, when we are confident, when we have posture, when we posture ourselves, when we have belief, when we are bringing that, then people feel that and
Yep.
they're going to respond to that or not if we bring the
Yep.
opposite. So this has really helped and can help organizations with sales and with performance and with business acumen. The other piece that I feel is a really important piece with MindTrainer Pro in companies or organizations or teams is the wellness piece. So there's a whole area that we want to bring wellness to employees and to
Yep.
team members, right? Can you talk about how Mind Trainer can also bring in that piece and help people with good habits? Because when we're our best self, when we're taking care of ourselves, that's when we can bring ourselves in sales, in performance, in whatever role we have, mother, father, sister,
Yep.
brother, child, anything. So let's talk about how Mind Trainer can help in that area with wellness to employees and team members.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And you know, when like you say, when you show up as the best version of ourselves, there's a ripple effect to everybody we come in contact with. And you know, when we're making the right decisions, that helps us show up as that best version of ourselves. And for myself, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners can relate to this, is we get stuck in patterns, we get stuck in routines that have been created by life. For me it was stress eating. When I got stressed, I had to go eat something, and typically it was bad food, typically it was potato chips for me, to release some of those endorphins, but they it comes back tenfold on the other side in unhealthy parts of our lives. So what I find is, like, what Mind Trainer is great for is it's disrupting those patterns that have been ingrained in our lives over years and years. And for me, that stress eating was one of them, and making poor eating decisions. Now with our wellness training, it's for me, it's changed the way I think about food. It's the way I think about eating. So now, as I improve my health through, what I've been doing traditionally with my personal development, with my, you know, exercise and everything, layering in MindTrainer Pro has given me that unfair advantage just to disrupt the typical patterns and thoughts that I've had that have derailed me time and time again in the past.
Wow. And you've lost
And
a
it
ton of weight using
I
mind.
have. Yeah, it's about last time I was on a scale, it was 19 pounds.
In
And
months.
since then it's been several, now about 5 weeks since I've been on a scale, and now I'm seeing the change. So I'm excited to get on a scale again and see where I'm at. I'm confident I'll be down around 25, maybe close to 30 pounds is my guess.
And how long
And
did that take you? What was your mind trainer experience with?
it's been about 4 months
That's what I
for
thought.
me. And that was just adding the wellness recordings and sessions into my what I was doing traditionally. And it's amazing because we show up when we're healthy, we can show up as that best version of ourselves. When we're sluggish and overweight and making poor eating decisions, which typically lead to brain fog, to low energy, to then reaching for the stimulants, right? It's a vicious cycle. And what I've found is having that mind trainer um, tool in my tool belt, if you will. It's been the thing that's allowed me to disrupt those patterns that have been created in my life that typically disrupt me or derail me from hitting that next level, if you will.
Mhm.
Like if it's in my weight loss or my personal development or my sales numbers, right? Um, it's literally just rewired my brain to believe that, it's there's that old saying like fake it till you make it, right? What mind trainer does, and I wish Maury was on this call to correct me if I'm wrong, but what I believe it does is it helps us rewire our thought patterns to really implement that. I don't believe in fake it till you make it, but your confidence level goes up. So again, people pick up on that energy. People pick up on that focus. They pick up on that the changes in how you show up,
Right.
right?
One thing Laurie talks
And
about with affirmations is how the I am statements self-sabotage us, right? Because
yeah,
unless we believe them, I am this, I am that, then it really doesn't work. So this is not that. This is a
yeah,
completely different scientific philosophy and experience than you're used to with, well, most
yeah,
people are used to with the I am or any kind of affirmation. So and I hear when I'm going to make good decisions or bad decisions, I don't even make bad decisions in the fridge or my cupboard because I've been reprogrammed and I want to
yep,
take care of this body. And I hear those trainings over and again that have shifted my experience with in my relationship. A lot of it is about being mindful, eating mindfully, chewing, texture of the food, all of that, which I know in my head, yeah, that's a great idea, but
yep,
I'm not, no, and I'm not doing that before my trainer because I'm in a hurry. I'm watching
yep,
TV while I'm eating, whatever it is. Now I'm enjoying the experience of my food
yep.
because I'm reminded of the amazing.
Yeah, and you mentioned on another call we were on about your portion sizes. And that's something for me as well because I'm a fast eater. Like a lot of times people are like, "Holy crap, you're done?" And I'm like, it's just how I've been my whole life. But I would not only would I eat very fast, I would then go back and eat more. And my brain wouldn't have time to register the food that was in my gut, and I would typically eat until then I would feel bloated and like oversaturated, if you will, right? And then then need the nap, right? And now even my portion size, my eating habits, and while I'm eating dinner, which typically we eat very healthy in our house, but I would eat a lot of it and not needing it. And now even the portion sizes have changed. My eating habits has changed. My snacking habits have changed. My sleeping habits has changed. And it all just works synergistically together. So you show up as that better version of yourself. And in the business world, in the sales world, I mean, who doesn't want that? That's how we improve our numbers. It's how we improve our metrics when we improve ourselves, right? So having a simple process of literally listening to something for 15 minutes a day that can literally change every aspect of your life. I mean, who wouldn't want it?
Right. So that brings me to one of my final questions is if you were to tell a leader, a company leader or a sales leader or any kind of coach that's helping people or that's managing people that are skeptical about this brain training thing, what would you say?
I would say you owe it to yourself to try it, because until you experience it, it's hard to understand. It truly is. It sounds out there, but when you stimulate your brain in proper patterns, more uses isochronic tones and frequencies layered in with monaural stimulation patterns on top of the affirmations, some of them and visual. So we've got all three. It does something that you can't explain until you experience it,
Mm.
and it will give your teams an unfair advantage in everything they're doing. They'll show up with more clarity, they'll show up with more energy, they'll have more focus, they'll have more belief, right? And that is going to help them get their jobs done faster, and they're going to feel better about what they're doing. And what better than having a team who is excited and united through a common goal? And when everybody is working through the MindTrainer Pro session together, yeah, it's game changing. But truly, you have to experience. I wish there was a way for people to understand it without experiencing it, but you just can't.
Right. So this platform is scalable, it's affordable, it's hands-off for leaders. And in today's world, this is a tool that I feel people should give it a try. So how do you give it a try? So if you're listening to this, connect with me, Heidi Wilde, and you can check out the MindTrainer Pro platform by going to getmindtrainer.com. That's GET, mindtrainer.com. Check it out. And we have lots of different options for teams based on your company needs. We can create all kinds of unique systems that will be applicable for whatever your company is going through. And as you evolve, we can evolve with you. So we are in partnership. We want to be in collaboration with you and your organization so that you can continue to evolve, grow, be healthy, happy, joyful, and productive. And Mike, thank you so much for joining today. Is
My
there any
pleasure.
words
Yeah.
you would say before we hop?
Yeah, just check it out. You owe it to yourself and your teams to really experience this. It is truly the unfair advantage that is yet to be mainstream, but it will be. And you want to be one of those teams to be the first to have it, so you can say, yeah, my numbers went up 50%, my numbers went up 100%, my team shows up excited, confident, collected, and as a collaborative unit every day. And yeah, it's a game
Right,
changer. It's
innovative
just true.
trailblazers. We
Yeah.
will work with you. So get mindtrainerpro.com and we'll see you on the inside. Thank you so much.